Hello,
Hey.
I'm Ryan,
I'm Judd.
and welcome to Bedlam Gaming. And we are going to be talking today about Friday the 13th, the game.
The game.
The new one, not the NES one.
No, not that one. Maybe one day we might talk about that, but
Yeah.
not today.
So, we both bought this at the same time about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'd been watching videos on YouTube, and it looked like a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun. So we picked it up. I've been playing it a lot. Judd's played it some.
Yeah.
Not as much as I have been.
much.
Tonight was the first time he got to play Jason, so that was an experience. So
Yeah.
the more I've played it, I've gotten to the point where I have set my preference to counselor, but I still get Jason from time to time, but I prefer to play as a counselor. But it's fun playing as Jason too. Tonight I played as Jason in one game, and I actually got the achievement for killing all 7 camp counselors, which I've never gotten before. And I didn't think I was going to get that achievement at all, because I'm okay with Jason, but I'm not great with him, so I usually have somebody escape on me, which is fine.
There's a lot of ways to get away.
But I guess I'll talk more about that experience in a minute, though. So this game is a 8-player multiplayer game. 7 players play as counselors, and 1 player plays as Jason. Jason tries to kill all the counselors. All the counselors try to escape.
Yeah. It's a very simplistic
Right.
premise, but it's implemented very well.
Yes. All the 3 levels that they have. I say all. I mean, there's only 3 levels right now. I'm sure there's going to be DLC levels added on. There were stretch goals that they had planned that didn't get met for Manhattan as a level and for spaceship level for Jason X. But those have not been added right now. But some of the stretch goals that didn't get met, like Tommy Jarvis, did get added into the game anyway. And so I do think that they'll add those in as DLC later on. I certainly hope so. They'd be fun levels.
Yeah.
But in these levels, you have Crystal Lake, Packanack Lodge, and oh my gosh,
I can't remember the other one.
from the first 3 movies anyway.
Yeah.
They're all around Crystal Lake. And you have several cabins at the camp all over the place. So the objective is to search cabins. You can find walkie-talkies, so you can communicate. That's the only way you can talk to people that are far away. You have to find a walkie-talkie first. I think this is a really great feature of the game.
Yeah, it's a good game mechanic. To say it's realistic, I mean, it's kind of odd to say something's realistic in a Friday the 13th game, but it does add a sense of realism. Like, you can't just talk to anyone
Right. Like
anywhere.
now, if you're within earshot of somebody, you can talk to them.
Yeah, which I think is pretty cool too.
Yeah. And but otherwise, you have to have a walkie-talkie, so that's a very good thing to get. There is a perk that you can unlock that lets you start with a walkie-talkie, which is a nice perk, but I don't use it, even though I've unlocked that perk, because some of the other perks I think are more necessary, and you can usually find a walkie-talkie in the game you're in. I've only had a few games where I have had a really hard time finding one. But yeah, you have to find that walkie-talkie to talk to people that are a further distance from you, and it gives you a sense of isolation, because you start in a random location. Sometimes you do start near other people, but sometimes you start far away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Another thing besides finding a walkie-talkie is finding a map is very helpful. If you find a map, you can see the whole area. You can everything is not in the same place every game, so you can see where the cars are. You can see if there's two cars, or if there's a car and a boat, you can see where the boat is as well.
Huh.
And There's 4 people can escape in one of the cars. If there's 2 cars on the map, 4 people can escape in one car, 2 in another car. If there's a car in a boat, 4 can escape in the car, 2 in the boat. There's a building you can find that has a tower coming out of it, and that always has the radio, so you can call in for Tommy Jarvis. And when a player dies or has escaped, one of the players that has died or escaped will come back as Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah, I've been Tommy a few times. It's interesting.
You can find a fuse, and when you find the fuse box on the cabin that needs the fuse put into it, there's a telephone in that cabin, and you can call the police on that phone, and you have 5 minutes after you call the police. They will show up on one end of the main road, and if you get to that end of the road before Jason catches you, you can escape that way. So those are the ways you can escape. You can escape by the road if you've called the police, you can escape by boat, and you can escape by car. So that's what you're trying to do, and in the meantime as well, you can carry a weapon so that you can defend yourself, like a baseball bat or a machete,
or a monkey wrench. Yeah.
There's pipes, sticks, and you also have hiding spots. You can hide in a closet. You can hide in a tent.
Yeah, I haven't
under
done
the bed.
But
hiding is a good way to recover your composure. Like if if Jason has been chasing you, your screen will start to turn black, and you won't be able to see your radar anymore. You can turn your flashlight on to also get your character to be less afraid. But if Jason catches you under a bed or something, he can kill you and get a special kill animation by killing you there as well.
Yeah.
So once you have... other things you can pick up. You can pick up health sprays. So if Jason's hacked you a little bit, you manage to get away, you can spray yourself and heal yourself up.
A la Resident Evil.
Pocket knives. These are extremely valuable if you find them. If you have a pocket knife on your character and Jason grabs you, you will automatically get out of the grab and you'll stab Jason in the throat. And it'll take him a second to get out of that. There are traps you can pick up and place down and open up, and if Jason walks in, it'll trap him for a minute. You can also walk in these yourself, so you have to be careful, and other counselors can also walk into them. Jason also can lay down traps. I'm trying to think if there's anything the counselors can do I haven't thought about. The health sprays. To use the car, you have to find the gas, the battery, and the keys. Once the gas, battery, and keys have been put in once the gas and battery have been put in the car, whoever has the keys can drive the car, and other people can get in the car and they can escape.
I've heard driving the car is very difficult. I've never done it. I've hopped in a car and let somebody else drive, but I've never driven myself.
I've tried to drive one time and it didn't go well. Driving though, if Jason looks at the map, he can see the car moving, and he can use his ability to warp in front of the car and stop the car, because if the car hits him, it stops and they have to recrank the car up. That was one of the things they were asking, why didn't Jason stop the car? And I said, this is the first time playing Jason, so so he didn't realize it.
Know. I didn't even know the car showed up moving on the map.
It does, so that's one thing it's good to watch.
I keep forgetting how to bring up the map is another problem.
So the boat, you have to put the gas in and you have to attach the propeller to the boat. Once you've done that, 2 people can escape on the boat. The second person can't enter the boat until the first person has started the boat up. Now the boat is a good way to escape too. Jason can stop the boat, much like he can stop the car. I'd say it's harder to get away from Jason once you stop the boat. He'll flip the boat over, you can get back in it, but Jason's on you at that point, and he can pretty much instant kill you if he gets behind you in the water. It's an instant kill move. So if you get stopped in the car, it's easier to get out of the car and run away. But that's mostly all I can think of the counselors can do, and there's a really good teamwork dynamic. You have to work together with others to escape. You have to, now a lot of times 2 people get the stuff for the boat and they take off and they don't help everybody else, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's a 2-person thing and they've gotten out of there. 4 people will escape in the car. Now, when 4 people escape in the car and nobody else knows they've escaped, and there's just like 3 people left running around, it gets kind of difficult for them. But
Yeah.
I think one of the best ways to escape is the police, because everybody can kind of group up and escape together and stun Jason
Yeah.
easily to escape together. The last thing the counselors can do that I've never seen in game yet, and I definitely want to take part in, is killing Jason. To kill Jason in this game, it takes multiple steps. One counselor who's female has to find Jason's cabin and has to steal his mom's sweater and be wearing it. Well, she'll be wearing it if she steals it, but she has to have the sweater. Now, the sweater's an item, and male counselors can't use it, but female counselors can use the item. If they use it, they start to talk to Jason and trick him into thinking that they're his mother, and he'll be stunned for a minute. Once they use it, it goes away. But to kill Jason, they can't use it yet. They have to hold on to it. Tommy Jarvis has to have been called and has to have arrived. So somebody has to die or escape before you can kill Jason. So once Tommy is there, Tommy comes in with a shotgun, but Tommy needs to get rid of the shotgun. He needs a machete. He has to have a machete to kill Jason. So you have to have the sweater, Tommy Jarvis with a machete, and you have to have knocked Jason's mask off. You can keep, the more you hit Jason with baseball bats are really good. I think machetes are good to help knock his mask off. But once you've knocked his mask off, you can kill him. One thing that's interesting is that if you've knocked his mask off, you can pick his mask up and have it as an item. If you're holding his mask as an item, you can go into his cabin without him knowing. Normally, if you go into his cabin, his mom starts talking to him and telling him somebody's there, and so he'll go straight to the cabin and come after you. But really, once his mask is off, you want to already have the sweater, so it's really almost not worth doing it in that order.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to knock his mask off. I have seen it once, but
I saw your mask get knocked off tonight when you were playing.
Oh, did it? I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it got knocked off.
Oh no, it did. I remember seeing my face. I didn't even think about it
Yeah,
being
but
off.
it took a while. It's not like you get shot and all of a sudden your mask is off.
A gun won't do it. You have to get hit. So anyway, yeah. So Tommy has to be there with a machete, the sweater. Jason's mask is off. Once those things have been done, the girl with the sweater needs to have a baseball bat, most likely, is the best weapon. Or I think somebody else can have the baseball bat for this part, but I know it works with her. She uses the sweater to stun Jason. While he's stunned, she can hit him with the baseball bat, and he'll fall to his knees. And then Tommy Jarvis will get a prompt, I think, to hit the A button. And if he hits the A button, he'll do a special kill animation, and Tommy will kill Jason. And that's how the counselors can kill Jason.
It's so many things have to go right in that scenario for that to get pulled off.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. I doubt it happens very often at all.
Yeah. Not without them doing it on purpose and letting Jason die. It's a very hard thing, I think, to pull off normally. I've seen a lot of people get the sweater, but I haven't seen that mask come off too often. So, Jason, there's several counselors to pick from. Each have different weaknesses and everything as well. I didn't get into that. I'm not going to get into very specific things, but some of them are good at stealth. Some of them are good at repairing things. Others have more strength, so they do more damage when they hit Jason. Those are the ones that are good to help try to get his mask off with. Some are faster than others.
Yes.
Usually the fast ones make noise and aren't stealthy, though, so Jason can find them easily. So you really have to kind of weigh everything out. There's one character that's just like all balanced. All his stats are balanced. But that's the counselors. You have several to choose from, like I said. Jason, there are multiple Jasons for you to choose from. You have Part 2, Part 3,
Part
6,
Part
7, Part 8 and 9, I think.
I know that Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, 8 and 9. There is 8.
Okay.
So those are the ones you have. There's also a special Tom Savini Jason. That was only for people who are Kickstarters. And then there was a new skin released in DLC
Yeah.
last week of the purple Jason from the NES game,
Yeah.
which is really cool looking, and it even has 8-bit music to go along with it.
That was really neat.
So I'm really glad they released that, and they released a whole bunch of points to spend on stuff as well when they did that as a kind of an apology, because this game has had a lot of issues with
Yeah, bugs.
a lot of bugs, and it still has a lot of bugs.
Yeah, it's a buggy game.
But they're working on it, and they've been very transparent about it.
Yeah.
But when you're playing Jason, you pick one of these Jasons and you kill everybody. That's your goal.
Yeah.
You have 4 main powers that unlock as you go. The first power, you can look at the map and you can warp to any spot on the map you desire to warp to. There are power boxes on houses you can break. They can be repaired by counselors once they've been broken. But it turns power out and makes them more scared. More scared.
Scared her.
Anyway, you can do that to put fear into their hearts, and the more afraid they are, the easier it is to spot them as Jason. You can lay traps around cars so that when they're trying to fix things, they step in your traps. If somebody steps in your trap, you will be alerted of it, so you know you can go check your trap and see who's there to get them. And you get an ability that lets you sense people. When you use your sense ability, they show up in red when they're close enough to you and you can see them.
It's all that sin permeating off of them. You can smell their sinful aura. That's why it's red.
If they go into one of the houses around the place, the whole building will turn red. So you know somebody's so you know somebody's in there. Then you get the ability that lets you travel Evil Dead style, like and warp around.
Yeah, that was an interesting Raimi cam.
I'm still not used to it.
Like, the thing that threw me off was, like, once I started that thing, I didn't know how to stop it.
Yeah, I think there's a way to, like, I think you hit the button again to stop it, but every time I
tried to do it, and it worked like the first time I did it, but, like, there were several times where I was trying to track down this counselor, and I would, and I'd see him, and I'd completely overshoot him. Like, I went, like, past the cabin, down a hill, and I'm like, I was further away after I was done than when I started. It was, it got frustrating, and it got to the point where I was like, do I really, I pretty much, I started running myself into, like, a corner of a cabin. And it'll break it. Like, if you hit an obstacle and you're just there, it'll just break. So, but that's what I eventually started doing.
Yeah, that's something I'm just not good at yet, because I know people are good at it, because people as Jason have warped right to me and grabbed me right out of their warp thing before, and I can't do anything about it. But the last power that unlocks for Jason is the power to I can't remember what it's called, but when you turn it on, there's no music that alerts the counselor that Jason's near.
Stealth mode.
Normally, when Jason is near you, the music changes and you know Jason is near you. But if you turn this on, they won't know. After a certain amount of time has passed, Jason goes into rage mode as well, and you don't have to chop down doors anymore. You can just press A and he'll walk through them.
Blow right through them. And certain walls.
And certain walls.
Certain walls in the cabins will do that.
So, when Jason has different Jasons have different weapons, like a machete or an axe or a spear.
Or a pickaxe.
Once that Jason can just chop you and kill you that way, which is boring. The best thing, Jason can grab you, and when you're grabbed, you can try to escape by tapping A. If you have a pocket knife, like I mentioned, you get out automatically. But when he has you in a grab, he can choose from 4 different kills he has assigned. If he's bought more kills to assign, he at least starts with 2. And they're all special animations. They're gory. It's really cool feature. And there are also special places on the map Jason can do special kills that aren't his kill animations. like throwing you through a window,
Yeah.
which I did to Judd when I was playing Jason
Yeah.
to kill him. You can also, there's like a bird bath kill where you pull the top of the bird bath off and you slam their body through it and then bust their head with the bird bath top. There's if there's an open door and you catch them by the door, you can stick their head in the door frame and you slam the door in their head.
Yeah.
There's one, if you're in the cabin with the fireplace that's going,
Yeah.
you throw them in the fire and kill them that way. So there's a lot of unique kills in the game. And so Jason has a lot he can do as well. In my experience, as I've played a bunch, I've found that I really do enjoy playing as the counselor the most. So that's why I set my preferences to counselor. But I still get Jason, like I said. And,
I have to agree. I enjoy, like, I've only been Jason once, but I enjoyed the counselor more. But I do like the fact Jason doesn't have a stamina meter. Like, I can just run. And I mean, granted, there are counselors that can outrun Jason, but, like, counselors can only run for so long. And then they have to stand still to regain their stamina.
Or you can crouch. I think crouching lets it go up faster.
Yeah.
A lot of the perks are good, like start with a baseball bat or do more damage with a bat. Start with a map, start with a radio. Perks, my dad's a cop. When you call the police, they get there faster.
Yeah, I think I have that one. That's a good one.
That's just a few off the top of my head. There's a ton of perks.
Yeah.
But they're random when you roll them, so you don't know what you're going to get. The same points you spend on perks, you spend on kills for Jason. So, and there's one set of kills for Jason that's a whole bunch of them. But once you buy those, that is for every single Jason. But also each Jason has 4 kills that are specific to him. One which is unlocked automatically, and the other 3 you have to buy. So you have to spend points on him too. And you earn experience every game you play. The more things you do, the more experience you earn. So if you fix something, you get experience. When you call the police, you get experience. You call Tommy Jarvis, you get experience. If you escape, you get experience. If you kill a bunch of counselors, you get experience. So that all builds up. Now, counselors can kill other counselors,
Yeah.
which is a betrayal, and it happens by accident a lot. I've accidentally done it before.
Yeah, I've seen people do it on accident.
It used to be a 200 experience point penalty if you killed somebody, but now it's a 1,000 point penalty. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes a counselor accidentally gets run over by a car. Sometimes somebody's trying to shoot Jason while they're holding a counselor to save the counselor, but they accidentally shoot the counselor, which is what I've done.
Yeah. The targeting system is not the most accurate, I think. I mean, it's fairly accurate, but when you're trying to shoot Jason, a lot's going on, so it's it's understandable that you'd shoot who Jason is holding instead of Jason.
A lot of, if you spawn near the big houses, you want to leave those. Like if you spawn near Packanack Lodge, you want to get out of there because Jason goes there first a lot. Jason's going to go for the cars a lot at the very beginning to put traps down. So if you spawn near a car, you might want to get out of there and get to somewhere safer. But sometimes Jason surprises you depending on who's playing him, and he may come to some other place on the map. You never know.
Like me, I just picked a spot on the map and I was like, "Hey, that looks good," and I just
he just happened to be right where I was
hit
when
the
he
warp
did
button.
it, and so I got killed right off the bat in that one. Judd had 3 kills on his first Jason run, so that was really that's good for a first. I mean,
I was happy.
Sometimes I play Jason, I don't even get that many kills. So, but tonight I did get. I mean, I get fun stories from some of my games. Tonight was fun because I killed every counselor, and I almost didn't do it because I killed every counselor except for one, and I knew he wasn't near me at all. I did my sense, I didn't see him, and I had been chasing these other 2 people I just killed around for so long in that match. So there was one person left, and I looked at the map, and then I realized there was a boat, and I forgot that there was a boat. So I warped down to the boat, and the guy was right there, and he had been trying to get that boat ready. He had the propeller. He had already put gas in it, and he had the propeller, and he was about to escape, and I was able to get down there and grab him and kill him. So I almost didn't get my achievement, but it was it was a lot of fun, that match. When you're playing as Jason and you're getting the kills, you have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Even when you're not, you still have fun with it. But that it's the most fun when you're actually finding people. And I didn't really expect that to happen tonight, so that was really cool. I use looking for group usually because the if you just go into the game and you try to join the game through the regular menu, it doesn't really work like it should even after they've patched it. It's one of the things that really needs worked on.
Yeah.
Some other issues with this game. Sometimes in the middle of the game I get knocked all the way back to the Xbox home menu. Sometimes I just get disconnected from the game, period. If the host gets disconnected, everybody gets disconnected. And there's some other issues too with this game. It's not perfect. There's a lot of kinks that really need to be worked out,
Yeah.
but they are working on it. And that's the important part. They're not just sitting on it and not doing anything.
Yeah, they seem to be very active in trying to fix these. And the good part about it is, aside from the bugs, the game is very well designed and very well thought out, like in how you play it, the game mechanics, the object of the game, the rules of the game. It's very, very well thought out, and like I said, very well designed. And it really, to me, it captures the essence of the movies perfectly. So it's like playing a movie. I mean, it really is. Minus the story involved. I mean, what stories they have in the movies, they're very anemic with the plot sometimes, but it captures that feeling of the movie perfectly.
Yeah, I have to agree. I couldn't say. I mean, I couldn't think of a better Friday the 13th way to do Friday the 13th than
Yeah.
the way they did it. It's perfect in my mind. As far as the gameplay elements themselves are.
Like I said, the drawback is that it is buggy, but if they fix the bugs, it's
Yeah.
it'd be cool. Like you said, they were adding a single player mode.
Yeah, they're supposed to be adding single player mode.
That should be fun too. So I mean, and then you'd have sort of the complete package, I guess.
See, I don't care as much about a single player mode except for the fact that it would help you to learn to play Jason better.
Yeah.
Because when you're just playing multiplayer and you get thrown into that first game playing Jason, you're like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and especially against people who've been playing for a while.
Right.
I know for me it's a little bit intimidating because I suck at the game because I haven't played very much, and I'm getting kind of thrown in a shark tank. And like these people who play a lot, they know what they're doing. They know where things are. They know. Well, I say where things are. They know the way, like how what they should be doing. So it's a little intimidating.
He's getting better though every game. I mean, he was doing good tonight. I mean, it's a game that you have to be willing to throw yourself into and throw yourself to the wolves, really, to learn how to play. Because you have to get online, you have to play with people, which doesn't really bother me. If you have like one or two friends that have it, you could start a private lobby, just play like 2 or 3 of you just to play around and learn stuff.
Yeah.
But every time you play, it's you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to be alone when you start or if you're going to be near another player. A couple times tonight, Judd and I were near each other right at the start, so it was helpful. We almost escaped was it the last match we played, or was it 2 matches? Anyway,
last match.
We started near each other. I found the fuse, and we found the house that needed the fuse. I put it in, and Judd called the police, and we got right next to the road, and we were in a house waiting.
Yeah.
Well, they had driven the car. Now, I wish they hadn't have driven the car because the police were called.
Yeah.
So they could have just waited like we did, but they decided to escape by car. So Jason followed the car all the way up to the main road.
Yeah.
So when they escaped by car and he wasn't able to stop them, he saw us because we were near the road in that one house. He was able to find us, and so he just went straight for us. So
yeah.
we didn't really have a chance. There were only 3 people left in the game at that point.
I got to the end of the road, but it was the wrong end of where the cops were called.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we didn't make it, but we came close to making that one. But like sometimes you're going to start off near weapons. Sometimes you're not going to be able to find one for a while. You can't find a walkie-talkie and you're alone.
Yeah.
It really just really captures the movie so well. And when you have a game from start to finish and nobody gets disconnected and you get all your experience points and everything goes smoothly,
Yeah.
it is amazing. It's an amazing game. And then it's just those times when there's disconnects and everything.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the
It sucks.
it's just the bugginess of it. But like that can be fixed.
Yeah.
It's not a flaw in design. It's a flaw in just mechanic, or not mechanics, but it's just a flaw of the bugs. It's not like it was a poorly thought out game.
And I think a lot of it's a server issue too. When they made this game, they did not expect as many people to buy it as did.
Yeah.
They thought they were way under on what their expectations were for this game.
Yeah.
So the servers were kind of overrun, I think, with people.
That can happen. That can throw a wrench in things.
So I think you should get the game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's only $40. It's not a full $60 game. I think it's worth $40.
I do too. And like I said, they're continually working on it to iron out these bugs, and just buying it helps give them more revenue so they can iron out these bugs. And but like I feel bad to say about the bugs, but it makes it almost sound like it's unplayable. It's not an unplayable game. It works.
A lot of the time it works.
Yeah, a lot of times it works. And since they patched it, it probably works more times than not, as opposed to before they patched it.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say buy it. I mean, it's a great game.
It's available for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and on Steam for PC. I'd say definitely, if you're a Friday the 13th fan, you're going to like this game.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of cooperative games, you'll like this game.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't like multiplayer co-op games, it may not be for you.
Yeah.
If you don't like horror, if you don't like the gore of the game, it's not for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are people that, wouldn't want a Friday the 13th game. That's fine, I understand.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that would want a Friday the 13th game, then this is a good game.
Yes.
It's the game to get. These things will get worked out, I believe. I really do have faith that these are going to get worked out. And there's I think there's going to be a lot of things added down the line that are going to make it even better. Some of the things that they didn't reach stretch goals that I'm really hoping are getting added. Pamela Voorhees as playable as the killer instead of Jason.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Fun. The wheelchair counselor.
Yeah. Yeah, from part 2. That'd be amazing.
I'm trying to think. I already mentioned the space level and Manhattan. It would be cool if they added Uber Jason.
Yeah.
From Jason X, which was another thing that was a stretch goal. I think there were some other stretch goals I don't remember. Is there anything that you would like to see added that I haven't mentioned?
I can't think of anything. I mean, that pretty much covers it all. I mean, people were talking about adding Freddy Krueger, but that's not a Jason element. I mean, that's a Jason versus Freddy element.
Yeah, a lot of people. I've seen people online talk about that. They're like, "Oh, they should add a Freddy thing," and it's like
It's like, how would you work Freddy? Legitimately work him into that play formula.
Because they're not dreaming.
Because they're not. No one's dreaming. And Freddy would be really powerful. What would somebody respawn as Freddy and try to kill Jason? To me, the gameplay doesn't facilitate Freddy's presence almost.
I mean, I'm sure they could do it somehow and make something up or whatever, but I don't think it's a Friday the 13th game, and I don't think it's necessary to turn it into a Freddy versus Jason game.
Yeah.
Now, I guess if they did add some kind of Freddy versus Jason mode, like Freddy versus Jason versus counselors, there'd be like 3 different or Freddy and Jason had to kill each other too. It could kind of mix things up interestingly. But at the same time, I just like it being a Friday game.
Yeah.
The I'm trying to think what other levels they could add besides what we've mentioned.
There's really not much left unless.
Yeah, because they've done they've done the locations from the first 3 films.
Yeah. I mean, if
and really 4, 5, and 6 are around
it's
Crystal
around
Lake.
Crystal Lake too, so I mean, if you add space in Manhattan,
And 7, I guess too.
yeah,
Then 8's
7.
Manhattan, and
I mean, that's pretty much it. Unless you want, well, if you wanted to throw in the remake, of course, that takes place around Crystal Lake as well. But
one thing I don't know if they can do the remake, Jason, because I think the rights or somebody else has the rights to that.
and that's fine by me.
Yeah, 'cause
it's produced by Michael Bay, and he sucks balls.
So they also can't use Jason, I don't think, from Jason versus Freddy because they don't have the rights to that movie, that's fine.
Yeah, not a bad version of Jason. Just it's not.
I mean, they pretty much have every version of Jason except Uber Jason that I want.
Yeah.
Because 3 and 4 are pretty much the same Jason.
Yeah.
Now they could add Part 5 Jason.
Yeah, not Jason.
Yeah, who's not really Jason, because Jason's not in that movie. They could add him in as a killer.
Yeah.
Because he did do crazy stuff.
Yeah. I would label him like literally not Jason, like not as in lowercase Jason. In one word. Like that would be pretty funny.
But they could add him, and then they could add Pamela, and then they'd have, all those good movies.
Or you could make it his name Jason in quotation.
In quotations, yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, so some other things that I do think should be added, and that you didn't mention, I thought you were going to say when I said that, but the psychic girl.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Tina from Part 7.
They should bring her in.
Yeah.
Not just Tina, I want to see more characters that were in the films.
Yeah.
Maybe not every character, but some of the ones that, at least like maybe the survivors at least would be cool.
Yeah, maybe bring in Alice.
Alice would be, I would love to have Alice in the game. I would, let's see, what's her name from the second one?
Jenny?
Yeah, Jenny. Is it Jenny? Jenny, I think. Jenny and her boyfriend, who may or may not have survived.
Yeah, we're not quite sure on that.
But yeah, have them added in would be cool. The third one was the girl that finally started going crazy at the end.
Oh yeah, a lot of people go crazy at the end of Friday the 13th movies.
Well, she was the one that was really over the top, though. Like they were really going for it.
Yeah, they went for it.
But I really do. I would love to see some of those people added in, being the direct characters. It would be cool if they were able to get the rights to some of those likenesses to bring in. It's one of. I mean, I like that Tommy's in the game. I kind of am bummed out that he only comes in the game if you call him and somebody dies.
Yeah.
Like it's a very special circumstance to get him in the game. I have gotten to play as him a lot, so it's not like I don't ever get to play as him. But I guess I would like a mode where you get to play as him. Maybe in the single player mode, they'll have a mode where you can play as Tommy. Some of the characters from 5 were neat in the nut house in the halfway house with Tommy.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they put a Part 5 version of Tommy in the game.
Yeah.
Or some different Tommy.
Corey Feldman Tommy.
Or Corey Feldman Tommy, yeah.
Have a little machete wielding kid running through the woods.
His sister in that one. She was another character they could put in because she survived.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all kinds of things they could do. And even things that aren't necessarily straight from the movies. I'm sure there are creative things they can do with this game and directions they can go. Maybe even in the single player, they could, if they do a story version of it, they could tell some stories that didn't get told in the movies. Like, I know that several movies had plans that didn't get to go through because the actress from the previous movie did not reprise their role. So we'll see what the game has in the future. I recommend it though, and especially if you ever see it on sale, pick it up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right now, but $40 is not bad for a new game, and especially one that I'm having this much fun with. It was well worth it.
Yeah.
The game is really good. It is buggy. There are issues, but I think they're going to get worked out. So that's my final thought on it.
Yep.
Do you have anything else to add, Judd?
Nope. That sums it up.
All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our thoughts on Friday the 13th, the game. And it's interesting that they've released this and kind of redeems the NES game.
Yeah.
Because they made a good Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
One interesting thing I didn't really get into, they started making this game before they had the license. And they weren't calling it Friday the 13th at the time, but they were basically making a Friday the 13th game. I can't remember what name they were calling it. It was something generic. But then they met with, what's his name?
Sean S. Cunningham?
Yeah, and he gifted them the rights. They didn't have to pay for the rights for this game. He liked what they were doing so much with it that he gifted them the rights to the game, which is a really cool part of the story for me, because this is because they crowdfunded doing this game. This is a crowdfunding game that I think turned out really well, and there are some that don't turn out well.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a success story in my opinion, and I hope you'll check it out if you're at all interested. And maybe in the future somebody will just make a Nightmare on Elm Street game that's good.
Yeah,
better than the NES one.
They might want to try, like the people who made this might want to try their hand at a Nightmare game.
Yeah. Maybe somebody will make a good Halloween game. Those are our thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for our next episode. And we are up on Twitter now, and I'm trying to keep that updated every day. I just started it yesterday, so far so good. But I'm putting a few updates up there every day, and I'm trying to update our Facebook page as well when I'm updating the Twitter. But yeah, that's the end of our Friday the 13th review. We'll see you next time.